Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique, and I'm on a financial health journey to create an inheritance for the generations to come. And I want to do that through consistency and discipline. Today, I am here to do my weekly check-in for 1020 to 1026. Normally, I like to keep these videos right around 15 minutes at the most. Get it in, get it out. I've been doing very well over the last 4 weeks. Making sure that I'm under budget, having money to be able to spend, to use towards my savings challenges. And this week is going to be a little different. So this might be a little chattier than I usually am. But I think I'm messed up, or I'm having some difficulties, and I kind of need to talk through it. And so I decided to just include that here and not have all of these things going on in my head that I'm not actually documenting down. So there you go. So this will be a little bit longer than typical. If you hear any noises in the background, I apologize. My friend is here. He's making videos for his content. My doggy is upset because he's in the crate, but he decided to go on a joy run today when I took him out for a walk, and he is wet and he's not getting all of that all over my carpet. So there you go. So first, let me say that from a no spend perspective, none. So these dates would have been 1020 through 1026. So 1020 from the 20th through the 26th, I don't have any no spend days. So where I started out the month great, and I was able to hit my 5 no spends by the middle of the month. I have not had a day this week that I haven't had to spend any money. Hence the reason why this is going to be a chatty video, and I've got a lot to discuss. So there you go. So nothing as far as no spend. I don't know if I'll be able to make it up. To be quite frank with you, I feel like I'm going to be spending a lot of money probably between now and the end of the year. I don't anticipate having any no spend days next week as well. And then for cash, so let me scoot this up a little bit and out of the way. So I did take the $40 miscellaneous out in cash this week, and here's the change that I have left over. And so we're going to put all of that in where it goes. And by the looks of it, I should have probably 16, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, only 14. So maybe something else is wrong. It's just that would be par for the course right now. All right, so let me put this cash in here. And this is to help with the savings challenges. Sorry for that noise. So I've got that in there in my jar. And then for my change, let me see if I can get this out. It's in a tough spot, and it's a little delicate. Let me get it. So I made my own coin tower. I saw these going around and available for sale, but I found something similar, and I've got some, and I had some stickers, leftover stickers, so I'm gonna go ahead and separate this out. I don't count it really till I get the urge to count it. That's pennies. Let's go. Sorry, I know this is probably a horrible angle. Sorry about that. 1 nickel. And then 4 dimes. And I'm sorry about the shaking of the camera. But this is what you get from Monique. It's definitely not scripted. So we'll move that over. All right, so that's out of the way. That part's done. Let's bring all of this stuff back in play. So this, my mini wallet that I carry around, is empty. I'm not making the expense cards anymore, but I am still tracking my receipts and logging those into Fetch, and then I'll go to the bank today sometime and get the $40 out for miscellaneous, put that in there, and start from scratch again for my next week. And then this is done too. So let's put all of that up and out of the way. All right, and then now let's get to the budget. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I don't typically talk through what my expenses were. I just have expenses and then that's it, but it is a little bit different this time. So I am going to go in a little bit more so we can talk through it. So on that Friday, we went to Wendy's and got something to eat for dinner. My daughter was in a one-act play Thursday and Friday of last week, and she also has some competitions and some chorus events and etc. for this week. So you do see some dining here, and this was horrible handwriting, so I'm going to fix this down at the bottom. I don't know what I've been going through. And let me fix it right now. That doesn't even look like any words. So let's make them look like words. Chick-fil-A. And it was 10:26, but we're going to make that look better. I'm sorry, you guys. I know you're probably like, who cares what it looks like? Well, I do a little bit just because I got to be able to read it. And then this was dining. Okay. All right. So we're good. All right. So 10:20, last Friday, went to get something to eat after the one act. I wasn't going to cook Saturday. So went and got something to eat Saturday morning from McDonald's. And then we went to Starbucks. I'm skipping around a little bit because I documented these after the fact. So we went to Starbucks, and you'll notice I have $15 for personal for Starbucks. Now, usually for personal, I only put $10 in there for Starbucks, but let me tell you what happened. So my daughter is with me, my youngest, because we need to shop for her for things that she needs for homecoming that's this week at her high school. And so she's like, Mom, can I get a drink? I was like, sure, you can get a Starbucks drink. She doesn't go with me often. And I usually put $10 in every weekend. I go on Saturdays. I only spend about $6. And so I was like, okay, I might have to put a little bit extra. We'll see. But I was like, okay, but we'll see, so I was like, okay, it'll be fine. All right. So she passes her phone over to me because the order that she has, I don't know if she got this from TikTok. I don't know if she got it from Instagram. I'm not sure where she got it from, but it literally, she hands me her iPhone and it is 3 lines of text that I have to read off at the Starbucks drive-thru to order whatever her drink is. Okay. So I'm not going to stress myself out about it. Okay, that's fine. My drink is pretty simple. Hot venti caramel macchiato, 6 Splenda, add whip. $6.05. I already know what it's going to be. $10 in the personal account, from the personal account, always handles it. So I read off all of this stuff on hers, and I'm not thinking anything about it. Pass her phone back. This lady says to me at the window that my order is $14 and some change, and to go ahead and drive around. And I look at my daughter and I'm like, what did you order? She was like, the drink. Now I ordered her a small. This isn't even a big, it's a tall, okay? But every single thing, I should have been looking at the screen while I was looking at her phone, because everything that she ordered was an extra expense. Her drink, a small of her drink, was $8 and some change, where a large of my drink is only $6. And so, but she won't get me like that again. She got me once, she won't get me like that again. So I said all of that to say, I ended up at Starbucks this week for this purchase, but it was more than what I typically do from a personal standpoint. We went to TJ Maxx, and I did separate out a few expenses here. I bought some vanilla syrup and I listed that under groceries, and then I bought me some oils and some other things, and so that's what I have listed here under shopping. All right, so and then Freddy's, we went to Freddy's for dinner that day. Again, not cooking. So that's Friday and Saturday, not cooking. And so for this, you'll see it as miscellaneous though, instead of dining, because I did use the cash. So earlier I mentioned, I try to take out the $40 in cash for miscellaneous. Whatever I have left over goes in the jar to use for savings. So I ended up using cash for that, and that's why it's listed as miscellaneous, although technically I guess it would be dining. On Sunday, I went to Kroger and got the groceries. I went to Walmart and got the home supplies. And you'll see here, cheerleaders, $5. So I was at a stoplight and there were some cheerleaders out with the buckets collecting money for some type of convention or something that they're doing, and I gave them $5, and I used the cash out of the miscellaneous that I had in my wallet for that. And then so that was Sunday, right? On Monday, when I got some gas, I actually almost ran out of gas at 5 o'clock in the morning on my way to Planet Fitness because I forgot to get gas on Sunday. And so I ended up having to get gas. So that ended up not being a no-spend day. So that was Monday. Tuesday, I have my doggy back. And that's why my home expenses are a little bit higher than they have been in the last couple of weeks because he was back. He's back, so I have to worry about getting his dog food and some toys, etc. But also for Starbucks. So on Tuesdays, when I take him to the groomers when he's here, we always go to Starbucks. I get a drink, he gets a pup cup. We sit in the parking lot, and I let him have his pup cup, and I give him some water too from Starbucks because he's usually at the groomers all day. Not because it takes all day to groom him, but because everybody loves my dog. And so they keep my dog, and they have, one of the groomers has some Scotties, some Scottish Terriers, and they just play. So he has a full play day during his grooming experience. So because of that, I get him a pup cup and get him some water to sustain him until he can get home and eat. That was Tuesday. On Wednesday, you'll see cake jars. So I have a friend of mine that has her own catering business, and sometimes she makes infused cake jars and sells those. And anytime she does, I always buy 4 from her. And so that's the $52 that you see there. I never know when she's going to make them, but whenever she lets me know she has them, she knows that's like an automatic sale for her, just because I want to help her and help her business, but also they're infused strawberry cream cake jars, and they are the bomb. So I had that marked as miscellaneous. I didn't have cash for that, but it is not an expense that I anticipated. And so that's why I marked it as miscellaneous, but it did come out of money in my account. And then yesterday, Thursday, my daughter had a choral event. She sang with a local choir. Her high school chorus sang with a local a local college choir at an event. And so we did that last night, and then we went and got something to eat because I wasn't going to cook. And so that was the $31 for that one. So a lot more expenses now than I typically have had. This coming week is going to be just as crazy as well because we have to finish up the shopping for this homecoming experience, and she's got some other things going on as well. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm going to tally all of this up and let's see where we are. So for groceries, I gave myself $110, and I spent $110 here, but the 8 there, so that's $118 was the actual. I'm sorry, this is a new GoodNote 6, and so I'm trying to get used to it. There. And so that leaves a -8, so I'm over budget by $8. Let's bring it down and get a little bit more into focus. Okay, gas was just one purchase of $33. So this was $33, and that's a minus. So we're going to count that as a plus, sorry, 7. All right, so I'm under budget by $7, so I should have $7 left over for that. Dining, let's see what we got for dining. I have 21 plus 5 plus 31 equals 57. That's 57. And I am over by $7. Home was 38. And I'm under budget by 2. Personal is where I know I went over. So it's 15 here and 10 here because we had to go back and get some more Starbucks on that Tuesday. So 15 and 10 is 25. So I am over by a whopping $15. And I've been doing so well in personal. Shopping is one purchase for $11. So that means I'm under budget by 9 because all of these should be negatives. Okay. Entertainment I did not have, so I am under budget by 10. And miscellaneous, so it was 21 plus 5 equals 26. All right, so that was $26. And I just took $14 out of my wallet just a minute ago and put it into the jar. And I thought it was supposed to be $16, but it really is supposed to be 14 because 40 minus 26 is $14. So I had exactly the amount of cash that I should have had left over. So that was good. But I also spent this 52 here. So my miscellaneous is going to be higher listed here, even though I still had cash left over that I'm rolling into my savings challenges. I hope that makes sense. So 21 plus 5 plus 52 equals 78. And I'm sorry that that calculator was not in focus from before. So that's minus 78. And that's where a bulk of my money has gone that I have spent. 74 minus 40 equals 38. So I'm over budget by $38. All right, so let's add this. Oh, sorry, that's just par for the course, the way the day has been going, the week has been going. Okay, so that is 118 plus 33 plus 57 plus 38 plus 25 plus 11 plus 78 equals $360. So 360 minus 320 should be, I think I'm over by $40. And we'll find that out here in a minute as we take care of these results. So I always have to start with a plus. So that's a plus 7 minus 8 minus 7 minus 2 minus 15 plus 9 plus 10 minus 38 equals 44. So I am off. All right. Let's see. So 110 minus 110 minus 118 is a negative 8. 40 minus 33 equals plus 7. 50 minus 57 equals minus 7. 40 minus 38 equals plus 2. There you go. So that should be a plus 2. All right, let's try this again. Plus 7 minus 8 minus 7 plus 2 minus 15 plus 9 plus 10 minus 36 equals, there you go, negative 40. Okay, all right. All right, so why was this week stressful? All right, number one, I went over budget, right? And this would, of course, happen the week after I brag about myself and how well I've been doing on staying under budget. So that's what I get for opening my mouth. And I needed to be humbled. So there you go. I need to make sure that I just don't have it all together yet, Monique. You don't have it all together. And then over here, let's just talk about some of the notes that I wrote down. So this section on here, and I would encourage anyone, I don't have a lot of financial advice that I can give to anybody because as you see, I am still struggling myself. She's so cute. As you see, I'm still struggling myself. But what I would say is having a section so that this notes area, I've not used it in the past. In all of my other expense trackers, I probably use it for decoration more than anything, just to make my page or my spread look pretty. But it's there because weeks like this, I need to document what's going on financially, not just from a physical standpoint, like the money that I'm spending, but also from a mental or emotional standpoint and what I'm kind of going through. So that's what I did. So these are a few notes that I jot down for myself. And then, of course, just to talk through them here on the video as well. So first, cushion as far as Chase account is concerned. So you'll notice that I did go over by $40 here. And a lot of that is actually going to be reflected in my bank account because I am a cashless budgeter for the most part. So some people may say, well, then are you taking some of that money away from your next week's budget for your variable expenses? No, I'm still going to start out at $320 for my next week as well. And the reason for that is I have a cushion built up in the Chase account. So what I don't think I've talked through before is I have a set amount of money that goes into a bills account to handle all of my bills. It's transferred directly there or deposited directly there from my paycheck. Okay, so my bills are taken care of, set amount goes there. I figured out how much all of my bills total. That's the amount. I split it in half. That's what goes over every paycheck over into that account. And so I don't have to worry about that. I have an automatic $25 that goes towards a bill buffer account, an automatic $25 that goes towards my variable expense buffer account, and an automatic $75 that goes in Ally for my property insurance, because I pay my own property insurance, and it's basically $75 every paycheck, and I pay my property insurance every quarter. Everything else that's left over, everything else that I get in, everything else that anybody sends to me goes into this variable expense account. I am choosing to only spend $320 every week for variable expenses, which means there's a natural cushion that's built into this account. If I go over, I'm not worried that I'm going to see my account turn negative. So sometimes you guys probably heard me say I pulled out all of the money that was left over in the account. And that's true from the sense of my budget. So say, for example, my budget is $320 for a week and I only spend $280. I go to the bank and I take out the $40 that I had left over from what I allotted myself to spend for a budget. And then that's the money that I am pulling out. And when I say, yep, I went ahead and pulled all the money out, that's what I mean for that. It's not a case that I don't have any money at all. There is a natural cushion there. Now, I don't want to give you the impression that there's hundreds of dollars that's in there. There might be a couple of $100, maybe, just depending on the week and what I've got going on. But for the most part, you know, it's $3 here or $6 there where I get paid a little bit more. And I just leave it in there natural. So I wanted to first say that just because you see a negative here, that doesn't mean that my account is negative. The second thing I wanted to talk through was Micah and moving money. So my son has gives me his check. Right? Before he was working part-time, he didn't spend a lot of money. He worked someplace local. He didn't have a lot of bills, not using a lot of gas, doesn't eat out a lot. He really doesn't spend any money. So he's like, Mom, can you just hold money? I'm going to give you my money and can you hold it? Sure, son, I can do that for you. I put that money into my Ally account and collect a little interest off of it. And every now and then he'll ask me for money. The majority of the time, he's just giving me money. He never asked me for any money. And so that was fine and it was cool. If you don't know, Ally only has so many withdrawals that you can make per month out of that savings, high yield savings account without incurring a penalty. But I never really stressed it because he's never needed any money. Since then, he's now started a full-time job, which is great because I need him to start covering his own insurance. So that's a good thing. But where he has to travel to is about an hour away. So now he's still under the same mindset of sending me his money, right? All of his money. And then, and let me be clear, my son has 3 bank accounts, right? He sends me his money and then now he's asking me to send him money back for him to put into his accounts for him to then spend, right? So one of those accounts is his own separate CD that he has where he has some savings set aside. So he never touches that. Then he has a checking account. He has a savings account. He takes a little bit of his check and puts it in his savings account. Or sometimes if he'll ask me how much money does he have, and he might pull a little bit extra from me to put into his savings account. And then of course his checking account as well. But he's working full time now. He's having to travel more. So he's buying food, he's buying gas. He has to worry about wear and tear for his tires or his oil changes. He's got to buy clothes. He's got to buy, like, it's just a lot of stuff. And we've been working under the same mindset, and that's proving to be a problem. So this past, 2 or 3 weeks, he sends me money, gives it to me. And then literally it's 2 days later. And he's like, well, can you send me $175? Can you send me $50? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm going into Ally and trying to pull that money out, and it's becoming an issue because I'm using up the withdrawals that I need for moving money around. So I use my Ally account, my high yield savings account. I have a high yield savings and a checking. My sinking funds are in the high yield savings. When I have to use money, I move it from the high yield savings to the checking, and I swipe that card for that expense. So while I'm trying to move all of his money around, and I keep track of his money separate, I have a Google sheet that he has access to. So every time he sends me money or asks me for money, I document it there, update it, and then email him the link so that he can see what his balance is. So I know how much money he has, and I know how much money of his that I have. The problem is the moving of the money. So I've been moving his money around. I've been moving our money around because we had eye appointments. My daughter got her hair braided. So I'm moving money from the sinking fund for that. We're buying the tickets for this homecoming. And so I'm moving money for that. I'm moving money right now for Christmas expenses. So I'm pulling for my gifts and birthdays, because there are a lot of deals going on right now ahead of Black Friday, to be honest. And I'm a part of a Facebook group called Keel's Deals, and they've had some excellent deals that have been going out lately. In fact, I got 2 pair of Crocs for $50. They've got the same sale, it looks like, going on Converse. They have those tote bags that have the word tote on them. They're overnight bags, and those were like little, this is $11, $11.74, I think it was, like some great deals. Anyway, so I've been moving sinking fund money over and taking care of those expenses, and there's just a lot of money movement, and I think that's what's been causing me the most angst and frustration. So I gotta talk to my son about his money and telling him I can't be responsible for it anymore. That's one option. I'm not crazy about that option because I think he might overspend, and I think he would too. So either that, or I'm going to, when he sends me money, I'm going to put it into my Chase buffer, variable expense buffer account, and let it sit there for him to use. But again, that's still mixing money, right? I love Ally because it has the buckets, which makes it easier for me to know this part is his money and that's the money that I'm pulling, versus having it intermingled with my bank accounts. So that feels like it's going to cause some additional headaches. I don't know the right answer. If anybody else on this that's listening to this video has got to be the accountant for anybody else in their family, and how you help to manage their money while you're holding it and tracking it along with yours as well, please make a comment down in the comment section. I would appreciate it, because I am struggling at this point now that he's moved to a full-time job and he's having more expenses. Homecoming is this week, so there's going to be some extra expenses. This one is causing me a little bit of angst as well, and I don't know what to do, because my daughter has never wanted to be a part of a lot of extracurricular activities at the school. She's a junior now, and now she's like, I want to go to homecoming, I want to go to the dance, I want to go to the prom, I want to get a yearbook, etc. And I didn't account for that because she's not had to do it or wanted to do it in the last 2 years. Now her dad is sending money and I'm saving money, but it's been for those big events, right? So these are for, the Thespian Society, the chorus, those types of things is where she's always spent her money before. And now it's becoming real. Like there's so many more things that she wants to do, and I haven't accounted for that. So all of these expenses that I'm going to see over this next weekend to get her ready for homecoming, I'm trying to figure out a way to cash flow it. Some of it is going to hit up against the cushion that I have for Chase. Some of it is going to hit against the cushion that I have for bills. I might even have to dip into my variable expense buffer and my bills buffer to help cover the cost, because I do not have enough sinking fund money left for that. And one of the things that I am the most proud of is I still have not swiped the card. So even with all of the extra expenses last week and the expenses that I see now this week, I will not swipe my credit card, but I do have to figure out a way to cover those expenses. And then I am traveling home for my college homecoming on next week as well. And I got to figure out a way to cover those costs. And Some would say, well, just don't go, Monique, but that's not really possible because I actually have a friend who's coming into town from Maryland because we made plans months ago to go to the homecoming game and hang out and those types of things. And I thought I was going to have some money like in that gifts area that I was going to be able to use, but that's not proving up to be true. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to cash flow this. And what I can guarantee you is I'm not taking my credit cards. So you don't have to worry about that, but I got to figure out a way to pay for that too. So all of this is causing me a little bit of stress right now, not only for this week, but going into this next week as well. I'm not going to change what I have as far as my variable expenses are concerned for next week. A quick plug. This looks like my niece, my namesake, Jessica Monique. This looks just like her, and she works at Starbucks. I thought this picture was funny, so she's gonna get a kick out of that when she sees it next weekend when I go home. So my variable expenses are still gonna be, it's still gonna be $320. I'm gonna try and make it work. I know I'm going to be over. I feel like I'm going to be over. I have a little bit of cushion that's still left in my Chase account, but I don't have the amount of cushion that I think I'm going to need. I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, I'm going to figure out what this is, and then I'm going to tell you something else that I'm doing as well. So, groceries, I'm going to give myself 120. Let's go back to 120 for that. Nope. Let's go to 110. All right. I'm going to do 110 for that. Gas for right now, I'm going to do 40. But when it's time for me to go out of town next week, it'll be over the weekend, and it'll be a pay week, and it'll be my new week starting for my variable expenses. So I don't have to worry about upping gas now. I am going to need to up gas for the next variable expense week. Home, I'm going to leave it at 40 because I still have Xerxes and I have to worry about him. I'm going to do 50 for dining. For entertainment, I'm going to put 0. And for personal, I'm going to bump that up for 20. I'm going to use the entertainment money and bring it over into the personal. And the reason for that, I'll tell you guys the reason for that in a minute. And then shopping, I think that's usually 30. And then miscellaneous is 40. So I'm going to add all of that together to make sure that it equals 320. 110 plus 40 plus 40 plus 50, 20, 30, 40. That's 330. I think it's because shopping is up to 30, but I think I need 30 because, dang, I just told you guys I wasn't moving from 320, but I think I'm going to go to 330. Shoot. And leave that shopping at 30 because I think she still needs shoes that I have to buy. And maybe a little purse for homecoming. All right, so this is going to be the budget. $330 is going to be the budget. Sorry, I know I said 320, but it's 330. And then I'm probably going to remove this entertainment line altogether going forward, and we're not going to worry about that. And I'm just going to put that extra 10 in personal. So I'm going to condense the categories. And here's the reason why. Let's see. Do I have? There you go. All right. You guys can see I've been trying to work through some other things. So this is a quarterly budget review worksheet that I created. I'm still working on it. It's not perfect by any means, but I needed to start using something. So I just did this the other night. And right now I've got variable expenses as a category that I want to track. And I have here other expenses, but there might be something else I want to track here. I'm not sure. I might combine these and make them one. I'm not sure about that either. And I know I need to add a totals section. And instead of it saying month 1, month 2, and month 3, I'm probably going to leave a dash so that we can write in what the months are. But my thought is that every quarter I need to review my budget and I need to understand for my variable expenses what I am spending my money towards for these 3 months. It's going to be a rolling 3 months, right? So this quarter, September will be on there. So it'll be September, October, and November. And then the next time I do this, it'll be October, November, and December, right? So it's going to be a rolling 3 months. But I want to track the totals for each of these expenses that I want to spend in the course of that month. And then I want to average it out and then make sure that my goals are aligning to it. So August, if you guys have gone back and looked at any of my videos, August I was used to track everything down. I wasn't worried about goals, but I used August just to track everything down to come up with what my goals would be. I came up with the goals, and these are the goals that you see listed here, over here on the side. And I might actually create a category over here on what the previous goal was as well. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And I need to write that down. Let me get a pen so I can remember to do that later. Okay, so it was $480 a month is what I want to spend for groceries, $160 on gas, $120 on home, $200 on dining, $40 for entertainment, $40 for personal, $80 for shopping, and $160 a month for miscellaneous. So total $1,280 towards variable expenses for the course of the month. And here's what I have for September. So I spent $511 on groceries, $179 on gas, $124 on home, $217 on dining. And if you notice, these numbers are really matching up pretty well. It's a little over here or there, but it's for the most part, it's not too bad. Entertainment was $0. I didn't spend anything for entertainment. And then personal was $47, shopping was $75, and miscellaneous was $116. So that total was $1,269. So I wanted to spend $1,280. I spent roughly $1,269. So there's no reason to adjust, and this is what I mean. There's no reason to adjust after just 1 month, but after 3 months, I might notice some patterns that have developed that I either need to address or I need to allocate for or adjust for, right? Either address it or adjust it. And so once I have September down, I'll mark October, I'll do November, and then I will see what my average is, see what my goal is, my new goal should be. And I think I am going to have a previous goal over here, a new goal over here, and see if I need to change those goals for December. And then we'll just keep moving it that way just to understand what I look like. So because of that, I think I'm going to remove entertainment altogether. And that's why I did not have any money towards entertain here on the budget for this week. So I'm going to stick to my 330 and we're going to see how it goes. But again, thanks everybody for just listening and let me walk through some of the frustrations. I think I speak to think and I have to get it out to understand. And I think I am going to have a talk with my son about only sending me money that he knows he wants to save. I don't feel like I can hold money for him like I used to do. Now, maybe I can, though, now that I'm thinking through it, because he has an iPhone and I use the iPhone for my business. Maybe he send it to me and I leave it in the wallet. And then when he wants to use it, we'll use it. So I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. And then what else? I think that was it. What else did I say I needed to do? I got to cash flow some of the homecoming and the travel. And then Micah's money. I think that was it. There might have been something else I said too. I'll go back and listen to the video and try and figure it out. Thanks everybody for your time. Thanks for the likes, the comments, and subscribing to this station or to this channel. I recognize, understand, and respect the community at large, and that people who don't know you but might have the same journey want to have this journey with you. So I really appreciate you guys. This page was just started as a way to hold myself accountable. As you see, I am trying to hold myself accountable. And the only thing that I would say is maybe as you are tracking your expenses, have some place that you can jot down some notes about feelings that you are having as you're going through this, because this journey is not just about the physical, about the manual, about keeping track of your money. It really is understanding your mindset around your expenses. And I realized this week has caused me a little bit more of a challenge. So there are some things that some discussions I need to have and some things I need to do differently. But it's helping me to write these things down, these feelings down, to know and understand that. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys have a good one.